All right, we're rolling. Meant to hit the song, get that going, but we were sitting here busy yakking about a whole bunch of nonsense, and then we started doing the Happy Father's Day to everyone. So let's start that off the show off proper, right? I've been called a lot of things in my life, a lot of them negative, a lot of them positive. Nothing I've ever been called means as much to me as the word dad. That is absolutely the best title I have ever been given. So shout out to all the fathers out there.
Hell yeah. Shout out to all the dads. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Happy fucking Father's Day to the moms who are there with no dads and the dads who are there with no moms.
Absolutely,
Everybody.
absolutely. To everyone
Oh,
that's
yeah.
loving their kids and getting that job done.
You know what? And shout out to the ones who are beating your kids because you love them.
Damn
Fucking
well
keep your
fucking
shit
deserve it.
straight.
They gotta learn. They gotta learn, man. I think we learn
That's
better when
right.
we beat.
That's right.
Yeah,
Don't beat the kids. They're fucking dumb shits.
you gotta
Yeah,
learn the
don't
hard
listen.
way. It's kind of like when your parents taught you fucking don't touch that hot frying pan. It taught you are gonna burn yourself, and then you fucking grabbed it anyways. That's
Yeah,
kind of
you
like
were like, you
fucking
can't tell me how to live my life.
exactly. It's
Fucking
just like
right.
when you tell your kid, stop fucking arguing with your sister. I'm gonna smack the shit out of you, and they start arguing again, and you gotta Sunday morning, Caribou Heart TV. How y'all doing? Episode 234. I believe we are kicking it here.
Already talking about abusing the children on Father's Day. This is great.
Fucking right. Fucking right.
Hey,
The dad's
Yeah,
job to lay the smack down.
I don't think I've ever figured out why the conversation leading into this was all about IMOs and
Yep.
making fertilizers and everything. And the second we turn the camera on, it's like, hey, you should beat your kid. Fuck them little bastards.
talking about
What are we doing wrong here?
I don't know. I think it's profit showed up must be what it is. Because literally about 30 to 45 seconds before we hit the go live button, Fluff and I were having this very passionate talk about IMOs and FAAs and FPGAs and JDOMs and all this stuff. And then Johnny's like, "Oh, good morning, Prophet." Prophet's all this fucking Father's Day BS. What the fuck? We were talking gardening.
Women, yeah. I usually have that effect on women, pissing them off.
Yeah, we've noticed. We've seen you get put in your place more than once.
That's why we
all
keep
good.
you around so that hopefully we catch it on camera. Live.
Well, it's
You gotta
always good
start.
times. Always good times watching Prophet get put in his place.
My wife
But
might up right now. She'll beat my ass.
oh, dude, really?
In the other
yeah.
room. She
It's
looks
been
at
over. It's been over a year since she's joined us to light you up. That would be a lot of fun.
I have to set that up for one day. That'd be fun. Ooh, Caribou. I talked to my brother's band. We're gonna get them on fucking do a one night. I don't. He thinks that they're booked up basically the whole fucking summer for Fridays, but maybe if we do like a Tuesday or something, we'll on to some music on a Tuesday.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right now we have up to the end of July booked. I mean, you were talking about that.
Yeah.
We got fucking. I'm excited. We got OK Calix coming on July 19th. This is one of the things Fluff and I were talking about pre-show here. And this guy's doing all sorts of like dumpster finds from coming out with cantaloupes, watermelons, and all this crazy shit, and then going home and making Jadon fertilizers with it. I to me, this is I've been more into the KNF side of things just because that's kind of where I started. It's easy play with rice, brown sugar, etc., etc. And then after you start watching this guy, you're like, motherfucker, that is so easy to take a whole bunch of melons and just stick it in a 5-gallon bucket full of water and just keep adding to it. Water, melons, whatever, grass clippings, leaves, whatever. I think when I've heard you talk about it before, Fluff, it just, I don't know, maybe it seemed a little bit harder than it is now, but like, how fucking easy is that? Literally a
Well,
bucket full of water and plant material, it just keep adding.
sometimes when you try to teach people what to do and you over teach them information of, because you want to let them know, there are certain things you shouldn't put in those buckets because it's not going to work for you, or the time frame it's got to sit there because, a fruit's going to ferment before it ends up going into, usable. You don't want to throw fucking alcohol on your plants. So there's small things that you have to, know and do before using the stuff, but really it is as simple as throwing that shit in there, putting a lid on it, and throwing some water on top of it, let it all fucking turn into shit water, I like to call it, and use it, and you use it in very small concentrations and it's very effective. Ooh, look
Yeah,
at that big old bush.
this is going to be exciting and a lot of fun. Another one we were talking about earlier is like I spent probably half my day yesterday playing on YouTube, looking at mostly the build a soil. Sorry about the I'm not sure if it's burps or hiccups trying to come up, but something's going on. Playing on the Build a Soil YouTube channel, learning about ferments and stuff like that. And I was just like, wow, this is exciting. Like I've played with this, make my own FPJs, and for some reason I thought like the actual like fermented say comfrey or whatever, I thought I was for how did that was FPJ in my head. Then listening to them explain that no, this is an anaerobic process, and some of this stuff does have a bit of a shelf life to it. And so now I've got to spend a lot more time researching, I guess, to see what stuff can I, because as I was saying, I got a small area for like a backyard area. I can't be brewing up a whole bunch of different stuff, and because I'm gonna get bitched at really hard by the neighbors, the wife or the girlfriend, and all that good stuff, right? And but seeing if there's some of the stuff I can bottle it up, use it throughout the winter, play with that FPJ right there. That's some papaya. I guess it'd be FFJ that I made up yesterday. Started that off last week, and now we got that. We just had a papaya sitting on the table. It was starting to turn, so it's fun to weigh it up, cover that equal amount of brown sugar, and throw it in a jar. Let it do its thing. Now I'm excited. Fluff's like, fuck you, I'm reading live chat. I'm not even paying attention to your dumbass.
No, I was actually, and it's I don't build too many FFJs or FPJs, for the winter time. I pretty much dry amend everything. It's some I should probably get more into it. When I want to like do a little extra like feeding or something, I'll usually make like a compost tea or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't ever, I have a tendency to forget about things or just not take enough care of them. And I just can't have, 4 jars of fucking FFJ or FPJ going bad, and
Yeah, I understand that. I feel like, well, with the shelf life of the FPJs, I'm okay with that. Like one thing I'm trying to stockpile a whole bunch of goodies so that like something like that, and I did some dandelions earlier in the month, and get a few different ones keep like that, and then so I'll have my stockpile so I can kind of like uh, stinging nettle, very high nitrogen, silica content, and all that. I want to make another one. Then you can like go get into that whole stop buying nutrients and stuff like that. Like I've got right outside here is our sliding dock glass window right beside me here, and I've got a 4 foot long Rubbermaid dry box that I used to take on the road with me that was filled with all my work here. Now it's full of dry amendments because I just went to like every payday I'd go to the grocery store and maybe buy a bucket of Gaia Green insect frass or feather meal, or just so I could have a good collection of my NPKs and then start working into my micronutrients and stuff like that. And now trying to build a stockpile of like so I can stop buying Gaia Green stuff, right? And just have my own goods ready to go. I really like the theories of just everything you need is already in your area to grow that stuff with the IMOs. How Fluff and I got into the IMO talk 30 seconds before that ended, 30 seconds before we went live, is I want to try and make my own FAA, so that's fish amino acids, because it just looks like something really cool. It'll be fun to do. The girlfriend will fucking kill me because it's probably going to smell bad and all that good stuff. But watching Chris Trump's video, he IMO4 is one of the things he puts in there. I've never taken it past IMO2 because and that's Fluff agrees, it's IMO2 is just so easy. You can throw that in your tea brew that you're doing or your top dress with it. And Fluff's pretty sure that IMO2 will not work for what my purposes that I'm trying to do. So it's just like, fuck, now I've got to stop being lazy and learn a whole new KNF thing. Because like I said, I've never taken it past 2, and you got to go 3 and 4. So that's an exciting prospect. this week, and I'm sorry for just rambling, but it seems like I've got something to say for a change. So I'm just gonna fucking run with it. I we're at work there and had a slow day. So I was like, I went shopping, got myself a new drill, and on the way home, because that's like the tool I missed the most since this whole divorce thing, is I don't have my fucking drill anymore. So, but I'm gonna on the way home picked up some 1x4 boards, make myself some IMO boxes probably next weekend when I get home and have a little bit more time. Take the daughter out and see what we can do there. Okay,
you know,
Prophet, you can go. Oh no, you're not allowed. Fluff's talking now. Prophet,
Wait.
sip
They
it.
took your fucking drill?
Dude,
bro, he
she
did.
took
He got a
both my
dad
drills.
press. He got a dad press for the divorce. That was it. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's it. That's it.
what the
He got
fuck
a
is she
dad
gonna
press.
do with a drill? Does she even know how to use one? Like, why would they take your fucking drill?
Well, the good one and the one I didn't like. There was a red one, which is a girl color, and the black and yellow one, which is like a boy color. So,
I,
and she took them both.
Wait, but Milwaukee makes good tools. They're red.
Yeah, okay.
Fine,
That's
that's
right. It
fine.
wasn't to Milwaukee that she took either. That's actually, it's funny. So, like, I went and bought a DeWalt 20 volt. My last one was an 18 volt, and it was okay, a little underpowered, but that was what was around kind of at the time when I bought it. And I thought like Milwaukee was a little bit cheaper than DeWalt, but kind of comparable. At the end of the day, and every fucking store around here, Milwaukee was like $100 more than the DeWalt tools for basically the same fucking thing. I was not very pleasantly surprised. But I bought a new tool this week, so I'm pretty fucking happy, guys, because new tool day is always pretty sweet. But go Prophet. We've kept you silent for long enough.
oh, I don't know. I don't think I got anything. Shit.
Holy shit.
I can show off this jar of weed I got.
That is a nice
I
jar
got
of weed.
It's OG Valley. Holy shit! It smells like oranges. Like, there's a jar, but
Like some decent little nugs too.
yeah, there's some really nice big ones in here too. But here, you can smell it. Christ.
See, I use Profits. I put them on the big screen so I can sneak away and refill my coffee without anybody seeing it.
It's all good.
It's when you got into talking about your IMOs and stuff, when you get back to doing it, actually look into it, because I know the only reason I've looked into taking it much farther is I know 5 can be used almost as a pest and bug repellent, and a little bit of IPM. So when you take it to 5, you also get some benefits there using it as a foliar. So that's the only reason I've ever looked into taking it much farther than 2. But I still haven't done it yet because I'm lazy.
Well, now I gotta figure out. So if I recall correctly, Chris Trump used in his video like macadamia nut shells and a few other things mixed in there. So now I gotta figure out what am I going to use for a mixture. Can I use wood chips? Because that's like as part of it, because that's something I always have in abundance. I work for a tree service company, so wood chips is easy. And then would you buy like oat bran or something else to mix in there with it? Like if anybody's ever done this before, I'm definitely open to how do you do this?
Yeah, that one gets a little bit beyond my scope. But I love the thought of like collecting the basically the sawdust that comes out of your chainsaw, how it's so fucking nice and broken up right out of that, like dust board. Just put a bag on that motherfucker and catch a nice bag full of that and use it, because it's so small and nice and break down fast and easy.
What I would do before doing that is, because you got your oiler on there, fill that up with canola or olive oil.
Ooh, that'd be a good idea, actually.
And then
I'd probably just run it dry for that day.
Yeah, it's a good way to fuck your saw up. I wouldn't recommend that.
Oh no, let them do it.
Well, not so much your saw, but your chain will not be happy.
Yeah, your chain, right?
Maybe
You
blow
go
your
through a
tip.
chain real fucking quick.
Blow the tip on your bar because they like to be lubed up.
Everything
nobody likes
when
to
it's not
blow.
lubed.
But that is I've thought about that too, because it is so fine, and that is like companies like Still, they make a bio oil that we're supposed to use in riparian areas, so you're not like fucking up waterways and stuff like that. Makes sense. But there's a lot of companies that'll just if they can get deals on like 5-gallon jugs of vegetable oil or whatever, they'll just use that in the riparian areas because it's completely fucking plant safe. So it's, that is something to consider.
Just spin
Yeah,
on
that'd
it.
be cool.
Universal lube. Just spin on it.
I don't have that much spit in me.
Only when you got a big old, dip of Red Man in there can you get that much spit.
Bring
Then,
back
then
the
you really
snooze.
don't want that, man. 'Cause, yeah, when that shit gets warm and hot, ugh. Dude, that used to be the worst thing. Guys would fucking chew. You'd be working with them, and then they spit on a steam line right next to you, and it just instantly cooks, and you just smell gross. Ugh. Fuck.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the grossest habits out there, I think. Especially when like you're in a trailer park and you're in somebody's trailer that lives in the trailer park and everybody
Tell us
does
all about
that.
it, Ricky.
And yeah, do not lose track of your can of soda or else it may become a spittoon.
Oh, it definitely turns into a spittoon
Oh,
every
yeah.
time.
You're like, was this mine? I don't know. Was this mine? I'm not even playing this game. I'm getting a new one.
I might have told that story once, but I was like working in my garage and grabbed a very old can of Mountain Dew that had cigarette butts in it. That was big old swig of it. Yeah,
you show me a serious drinker that's never done that, and I'll show you a liar though, because that the fuck, as disgusting as that is, it's you go to a party and it's guaranteed to fucking happen. Somebody's fucking putting cigarette butts out. Everybody does it, right? You don't want them on the fucking floor. It makes 100% sense, but drunk people are stupid, and you lose track of shit real easy when you're drunk. So
yeah, I do have to say that is the one thing I'm glad it's never happened, because somebody's spittoon usually smells so bad that if you grab that motherfucker and you're not looking, before you get it to your mouth, you're gonna smell that bitch. So I've never drank somebody's nasty ass spit fucking one, but
just the thought of that
thank God.
slamming down my back, my throat is enough to get me fucking heaving, man.
Dude, I've heard people telling stories about they've done it, to themselves or something, because they're a chewer and they don't notice as much. So they've done it. It makes me want to fucking vomit just listening to the story.
Yeah, it's fucking gross. I got a dab frog queued up here so we can rip a dab here, but I think before we do that, we should thank our sponsors, Hypothetical Genetics, the official autoflowers of Caribou Heart TV. We've got Hype's links from Instagram and the cannabis in the description below here. In fact, no, I don't think I did that yet. By the end of the show, I will get his links in the description here, and then if you're watching along, you just hit the refresh on your page, and they'll show up. Also, Sticky Macro Photography and Canada Colton Bridge graphic design. We're seeing Colton's pictures show up all over the place. Uncle Rick's got some. He just had some framed up. Hurt and Albertan just did the same, making me look like an asshole because I still got Colton sitting in a box, so I don't get them wrecked anywhere because we keep hoping to move, but now I'm gonna have to. My hand's been forced, but Colton does amazing fucking work. Go check out his website. Once again, that's going to be in the description below. If you need your website built or some graphic design work done, give Colton a shout. Once again, his website is in the description there. Now that we've said nice things about the sponsors,
I need to get some of his. I've got to get on his site, man. Every time I look at that, I'm like, there's a one specific picture too. It's really fucking cool. I'm not gonna tell anybody in case he's got some, and I can still get it, but because I want that picture. But I need to get on that site and get one ordered too, because man, those shots are just beautiful. And even for someone who doesn't really so much want like cannabis photography, you don't want a big bud shot. He's got some stuff that is just so. The angles and everything, it's art. It's not, just some stoner bullshit hanging in your house.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's rip this dab for Hypothetical Genetics, Sticky Map Photography, and Colton Bridge graphic design.
I guess they're two of them, man.
I ain't got nothing to do with dabs with him. Sad.
My dabs are upstairs where the girlfriend is sleeping, and I dare not wake the sleeping dragon. No fucking around.
I'm really addicted too. I got one more.
Yeah. Fucking look at Johnny all hard at work, or at least pretending to work. Just pretending. I can tell. I know what that looks like. You sit there, swing the hammer, don't actually do anything with it.
Yeah. Fun part is taking it down. See?
Yeah.
See that smacking the hammer like that with your hand? That's why you had so many goddamn hand surgeries. I've been trying to fucking learn to stop doing that. You know, to all the guys out there, work with your hands, whine, bitch. Stop hitting shit with your hands. It's how we fuck our shit up all the time.
That's what steel toes are for. Give it a fucking kick.
I like tools.
Yeah, the bad hands one, man. That's one that it's like I've got quick hand and arm reactions, but the fingers themselves, I got such bad dexterity and they're so fucking banged up. You get like cold, wet, rainy days, and my hands like damn near seize up on me. It's painful. So yeah, take care of that shit.
Yeah, that's, you know, we got to thinking about that. We'll go to stuff and, you know, 2-inch bolts in somewhere, and they don't like to go. So you don't have a hammer, and you're not hammering, you know, a bolt in because you don't want to fuck the threads up. So the first thing you inevitably do every time is smack that bitch with your hand, you know, and you by the time you're done with it, you just feel like your hand tingle for the next 4 hours. And then the next day and a half after that, you're like, man, that was stupid. But I suppose if we don't do it, then we don't have anything to bitch about. Oh, well, that would be fun.
I have to throw my back out instead or something.
No,
that's right. I do that regular.
I like aggressive tools too much, so I usually have them around me. That's, you know, three of the size cameras.
You're not gonna be able to see that, but I'm smoking on some Max Z right now, or gonna be smoking on. I smoked a couple Golden Goats earlier before the show because we're getting towards the end of that, almost at the end. I was like, you know what? I haven't smoked any of that in a couple weeks now. I'm gonna go back, give that a try, and it's still fucking amazing, if not better than it was, because it's that longer to cure.
Yeah. Dude, that Golden Goat's just fire. So excited, dude. I got that Golden Goat by Jack the Ripper across. Hopefully when those get home, they should all be broke soil. I know when I was leaving, one was just starting to, like, I could, it hadn't, you know, like it hadn't curled back up. You could see the stem was coming up and doing that like hook before it, you know, pops the head out. So pulled all those. They should be standing by the time I get home. And then I've got those blowbacks, which is like it's that high GMO cut by Uzbekistan. Yeah, Uzbekistan landrace. So that should just be some gassy, funky.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Fluff, but hey, fellas, I'm gonna jump off here. I want to get this done. But y'all have a great Father's Day. Chat.
You too, Johnny. Work safe.
Everybody have a great day. I'll talk to y'all later.
Love you, brother.
Love you.
You safe, brother. Happy Father's Day. But so what do you guys got exciting going on in your gardens?
I'm still playing with those Dalton's ponds. I think I'm past the worst of the spider mite infestation. Fingers crossed, hopefully that we knocked them back enough. I'm waiting on my Rasta Jeff order. And there's some exciting stuff on that, which we'll get into when it arrives.
Yeah, nice. I've heard a little bit about that. How about yourself, Prophet? What you got? You got anything exciting going on? Anything new, or are you just kind of getting your shit back together?
I've got the space. So I came across with Larry OG and some stuff. I'm waiting for him to pop up, obviously. So he already cracked. The Filthy Animals being a little hard and won't pop. But Bobby's Widow F4, I believe. That one just cracked. And then I have the Super Skunk #1. So that's going in the soil today. And I planted 2 tomato plants yesterday, which I'm very excited about. already grown, I'm not waiting for them. I don't wait for them.
Did you just get a like a cut from the store or something?
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
okay. Did you pick out something fun, or you just got a regular tomato?
What are they? Beef.
Okay, you got like a beefsteak tomato. Oh, okay.
All right, can you hear him right now?
No, not a fucking thing. Right now, I'm making it up in my head.
Are you serious right now? Fuck you. See, you guys drive me nuts. I can't figure out where my mic is. Like if it's down
Hey,
here.
Prophet,
or if it's
tell
up
you
here.
what, if you get a microphone, problem solved.
I've been thinking about this for a long fucking time.
I know,
I'm
you're gonna
thinking
think
about it,
about
but
it
not
for an
acting
even
about
longer
it.
time still, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the act of thinking and actually motivation doing, it's a process.
You to shitty microphones is kind of like Uncle Rick to technology.
Yeah.
But no,
Well,
actually, I was wondering about the tomato just because, I just want to know if you bought something fun. Like in our area, apparently, like a Cherokee purple tomato is supposed to just really work well in the area. It likes, the growing season, what we have to offer. So it makes a very nice, tomato. So I was just wondering if you pick something out for your area or something you just wanted to try, or if you just went with standard because you want to try to grow something.
I went with the standards just so because I like tomatoes, and I grabbed the cherry tomato and the beef one. You can hear me correctly? Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
I didn't come across any of the the yellow tomatoes or anything like that, or the purple ones. Otherwise, I would have grabbed one. But I've had them and they're fucking delicious. So yeah, I'd love to try actually one of those strains maybe next year. But right now I think I'm just gonna run with those two. I'm not gonna have a huge outdoor garden as far as vegetables because I don't have the time. And if I want to stay at least cohesive to the show and actually growing cannabis, I should probably avoid playing with too many vegetables. You know what I'm saying?
It's understandable. I just transplanted 3 tomato plants into those green sip containers that I have. Those containers were meant to put cannabis in, but nobody, it's that time thing. I'm generally the only one that does the watering around here for everything. So it's a lot easier for me to fill up a sip container and walk away 2 or 3 weeks or a week or whatever it is, depending on how big the roots are. Than every time I look, oh shit, they're dry again. Oh shit, they're dry again. Oh shit, they're dry again. So I got you on that. It's fucking never enough time.
Never enough.
Yeah, I decided I was going to try to control one of mine by keeping it in a smaller pot, for outdoors. So already a vigorous feeder, like loves its water, loves to fucking grow. So I decided I was going to, throw it out in 7-gallon, fabric pot outside, which is just basically I'm watering the fucking thing 3 times a day with like 30 gallons of water. Half of it's fucking evaporating, it's sucking up the other half, but at least I got time to do it right now. It's easy enough. I just fill up the can and fucking set it right next to it. So all I got to do is dump her in. It's amazing how much some of them fuckers, work it can take just for one plant, let alone a couple more.
Dude, I like sticking them in the ground. I find it so much easier than dealing with buckets, especially when it comes to a tomato plant. I'm like, shit.
It is. This one was already about a 4-foot plant when I brought it outside, and I did not want a 20-foot fucking tree by the end of the season, so I thought I'd leave it in the pot.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. It's still going to get bigger than I wanted, but we'll get her controlled.
I like the idea. I remember who I was talking to. I might have sniffed about my plants because they're already like 6.5 feet tall, and we're just starting veg. So it's like I could chop it and do what I normally do, but they're kind of convincing me to probably lay it out across and then pin it down in this way here and take up a larger area, open the plant up a lot better, and keep it low rather than me just chopping the damn thing in half and recovering. So I think I may be turning my 2 plants into like a spread of like a quarter of my backyard because of how tall they are.
You'd get like an old trampoline frame or something like that, and just run a bunch of fucking string back and forth, make a scrog for one plant, like be 13-foot
Thought
square.
about that, actually. Doing
That's why
because I can get around the whole fucking thing if I wanted to, but what's really gonna happen is I'm gonna super crap the motherfuckers all the way around. Like my dog pretty much fucking did, and with the other ones last year. So I'm just gonna crop all of it out, and it's just gonna be spread out.
Must be something good going in on the live chat. Fluff's like, I'm not even paying attention to us. He's just giggling like a schoolgirl hanging out in there.
it's just people making fun of me for my dumb shit.
You like the
Just
spots.
what is that? Adam saying right? Fluff. Small pots don't mean small plants. It just means more watering. Yeah, I know. But
True.
if I forget to water, it might not grow. And there we go. See, it might work somehow. I don't know.
Right.
But I was also looking, Noob was talking about the Black Beauty tomatoes, and I grew those. I believe it was 2 years ago. I got them from Baker Creek, and for me, they were a temperamental pain in the ass. But man, the tomatoes that came off were just wonderful, super meaty, and like they would have made a real good sauce tomato if they were red. If you wanted a red sauce. But they were so nice, like purple, that they just made this really fucked up looking sauce. But if you made it like half and half, they, mixed it in with some other stuff. It turned out really goddamn good.
The mention a Noob there. Let's give him a shout out for he's our newest, latest, and greatest Patreon supporter. So thank you for that support, Noob. And as soon as Fluff mentioned Noob, I was like, oh, yeah, Patreon people. And there's the video on my computer somewhere because I know that because I just put it in the video I made yesterday. But it's not in my usual spot where I can get that loaded up. So all our other Patreon supporters that we love just as much as Noob, if you give me about 30-45 minutes, I'll be able to find the video on here. We'll play that to talk about how awesome you guys are too.
Nice. Yeah, and if you guys aren't in fucking live chat, get in there. It's better. It's really
we don't have time for that video, Fluff. I'm I'm overworked and underpaid.
Overworked and underpaid.
I gotta deal with today. So fun.
Do you know how many buttons he has to push to get this thing going? 3. God damn it. 3 buttons. That is so much work.
Didn't everybody else do all the work and just send it to him? Was it like Colton and whatnot and Sniff that was doing it all to put together?
Colton had to work on well, actually in the video that we did, Patreon video I do have now, it doesn't have Noob on it because there's we've had some people they stop supporting Patreon, some people come and join Patreon. It is what it is. So that video was changed a few times, and then it's just when you take it off my home screen and then put it somewhere else, it just goes gone from my mind. Tunnel vision. But seeing how Patreoners are awesome, I will find that video.
We got Newbie and Hoovie. They're great little boofers.
They are.
It's the boof couple. The great boof couple is Newbie and Hoovie. We got to think some other ones too.
Is that like a Brangelina?
Exactly. Yeah, that's our Brangelina. It's Newbie and Hoovie. Works out great.
That actually threw me off at first. I thought like the first couple of comments, I thought it was the same person, but I was like, the fuck? Wait, no, that's not
fuck.
the same person.
Damn, what was I just gonna say? Something about a plant. It was cool too. It was gonna be awesome. We are gonna talk about stuff, and it went bye. I was gonna talk. I was kind of talking with Day Neutral Preserves the other day because I've got one of his going out too, and it's the last one in the pack that he gave me. I've only got one left. But the first time I popped his shit, I literally popped 5-pack. 1 damped off on me. 4 of them were fucking males. So I killed like basically the rest of the seeds on accident. This one decided to pop out, and now I have 1 plant left of this pack, which I really wanted to grow because it's Trop Cookies by Papaya God. So I was like, ooh, this is gonna be a fun one. one. So I have one chance to get one female to finally try to grow his shit out. But poor guy the other day, he looks at me though. He's like, man, you sure get a lot of males out of my stuff. I was like, I know. I think I need to breed with it. I think that's what it's telling me is I need to find a good male out of his shit and then breed it with somebody else's. And then
That could be the sign. That's that would make a lot of sense. I tell you all what, I finally found that video. Should we say thank you to our kick-ass Patreon supporters?
absolutely.
Thank you for love. Thank you for the fun. Thank you most of all for who you are. They said thank you for the love. Thank you for the fun. Thank you most of all for who you are. For who you are.
It's just still
Yeah.
never.
You can't help but to stare at the frogs and be like,
I'm
you know,
still trying to figure out how that became a thing. Like all this shit that we have is so fucking random.
Well, you remember like the EO show with the fucking dab bell, right? Or that was the thing. And I do remember there was discussions in amongst our crew about trying to come up with something similar but different. I did, but yeah, how the frog became it, I don't even recollect that.
Well, yeah, bees had the fucking little magic frog, and we
And
just
that
needed
thing,
a
we're like,
sound.
what the fuck is that? And he's like, oh, it's an instrument. And I'm like, we were like, there it is. Ain't nobody else got a goddamn frog.
For some reason, I thought it was a frog before our bees had the instrument. I thought the instrument came.
That's when I came down that day.
Was the instrument first? Okay.
Yeah, it was going to be the bullhorn before that, and then you got the bullhorn taken away, and that's why we had to go with the frog. But then all of a sudden, now we have real frogs doing it for some reason.
Yeah. Well, we're moving on up. We're getting live footage. I got a new camera. I'll get some close-ups for, Buds.
We'll see if we can get, like, we've talked about getting Buds to make a new dab frog of like him twerking or whatever. We're gonna do fucking Patreon support video. Will be like Mr. Frog slamming Mrs. Frog from behind, just fucking feeding her.
Must be 18 to view this.
Well, that's what the YouTube videos already say. Well, that's what YouTube does after we air every video is they age restrict it to 18 and older for us. They're very considerate doing all that work for us like that. Send me an email every day. We've age restricted your video. Like, cool.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we figured that one out. Go ahead and fuck off.
Makes up for slamming us for Ric Flair, I guess.
Hey, we don't speak of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really like Ric Flair.
Oh, so why did you put out big lanky plants out there, Prophet? I can't wait to see those things fill in. Actually, that's going to be neat when they start. Because I was just surprised at how kind of it reminded me of like a GMO, very kind of thin, structured, want to be a little bit of a stretchy plant.
So if you want to know what happened was, I wasn't able to do my next cycle, like to throw in, because those plants actually died during transplant. I think I might have sprayed them with something I probably shouldn't have. That was a little old, and it just kind of fried them. So my next cycle that was supposed to go into my room was gone. So I scrambled. I grabbed 2 clones off a friend, but he was like, they kind of iffy, and they got a couple of mites on or whatever, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck, they don't scare me. So I brought him in, I took care of him, recovered him, was doing great. Life came in, slammed me for a month and a half or so, and then like paying attention and topping it and whatnot. I mean, shit, I kept them alive. Like I was able to water them during this time. That's impressive alone. But the fact that I wasn't able to they were just continually going up. So my goal was to initially put those outside. Now they're just so fucking huge that I gotta get some maintenance on them, or else they're gonna be grown. They're already growing over my fence, So that's what happened there. So now I've got the great reset going on with, a lot of strains from the group and stuff like that, where I can, once I harvest those outdoors, minus I got a couple of autos that are going out there, and in my area, I can pretty much get away with 2 auto grow season. Like I can get away with growing autos twice. So it definitely at least once. So I got 2 autos going out there. So realistically, I got 4 plants that's gonna be running out there, and then I got all the photos that you guys have given me, and I popped setting up for my neck. Once those come down, they'll be ready for the indoor, and then I'll bring in I'll obviously take clones, start some more autos, and I'll run those fuckers 24 in my veg room, so I can grow the autos with the bigger light, my flower light, because I got the brand new the bar spectrum one that I still haven't put together yet. So I'm taking a flower light that I just bought, taking down the new veg LED that I just took and put that back in the fucking box, and bringing my flower light out to my veg room so I can flower autos while I veg and flower fucking photos in the other room, and then switch out as I go. So
I just think you know, the way they went out there, you know, they were pretty nice and tall, you know, a little bit on the stretchy side. And I was like, well, it actually might work out real nice if they start filling in, you know, some of those lower branches now that they're going to get really blasted with some sun. You know, you just hopefully it was actually going to fill in, you know, before it started growing a little more vertical.
I topped everything.
Yeah,
So everything's top. So the only thing that's gonna be happening is
it should be a good looking plant when all is said and done.
but I gotta cut it down. You know, I tie it down, I chop it down so that I have time to recover and still have, you know, a month and a half to veg, because I only need a little bit of recovery time. And so that's where I'm stuck at. Do I pin it down, or do I just do my usual chop it and let it recover, because it's got fucking almost 2 months to veg outside now, on top of the 2.5, 3 months that it was vegging indoors, which is why it's that tall, because it's literally
Right.
like 3.5 fucking months worth of vegging.
Right. Yeah, that is right. Yeah, I was talking about you thinking about your autos too. Actually, I just threw 4 out. I had like one big pot where I was growing what was I growing in that last year? I think I was growing a banana tree in it last year, and the banana tree didn't make it through the winter as I was trying to winter it in that pot. So I had it's nice soil, still pretty good. So moistened it all up through like 4 autos in this nice size pot. I'm gonna see what happens with that one, because like you said, you know, I wanted to run one. I wanted to run them during the hot season just to kind of see the difference. And then basically in, I'd say, another month and a half or so, I'm going to take and plant a couple more just to see if I can finish them out in a little bit of the cooler season of, you know, summer, to,
Right.
you know, how we typically,
Or
you know,
nights and
flower
shit.
something out. Yeah, with a little bit
Yeah.
cooler temperatures. So
That's pretty cool. You're trying to grow a banana tree. I would love to do that, but I really want the upside down banana tree. So if anybody knows how to find that thing, because I got the blueberry one, you know, where you grow the blueberries in your house, and I think there's one that grows the upside down tomato plant. There's that one, but they had a
what do you
banana
mean by
plant.
an upside down tomato? Like, what makes it upside down? Because if you're just talking about planting in a topsy turvy,
No,
anybody
man,
can do that.
it's like one of those I've seen on TV situations. Like it's just a bag
Yeah,
that's set
yeah.
up. Okay, it's called the upside down fucking tomato plant. Well, they have a blueberry fucking thing. It's not upside down. Don't get me wrong, but it produces blueberries year round and this and that. But there was a banana one specifically I wanted. Now I can't find the motherfucker, so it's pissing me off. So yes, there is a way to grow bananas in your house year round with this particular whatever it is, which is another thing I'm curious about, is what makes them able to grow year round in and indoors, even without any grow light or anything special, you know, like just
Well, it's
like
warm inside and it's cold
What?
outside. They don't like the cold.
So
Yeah,
like,
but
right, I
you
got a
can get
banana
sunlight.
tree, but I got a banana tree that's never going to grow a banana, right? So it's basically just for big, huge leaves and, you know, to make it look a little tropical. There's, from my understanding, there's a few types that will actually survive throughout the winter when I put them in the ground here. But most of the time, in most of the varieties that I see, you have to dig them up, take your rhizome out and store it over the winter and then bring it back out, in the end of the year. As for growing it inside, I don't think you can give it enough ass to ever flower a banana inside. I mean, that would take a lot of, soil, a lot of nutrients, a lot of water. Like it'd take way more than I think you could handle in a pot inside, personally.
Well, no, it's supposed to be like set it and forget it type of shit, man. That's what I'm telling you.
I'd like to see that. A lot of those things are a lot of bullshit too. Like I kind of
Hey,
looking.
Fluff, Prophet saw it on the internet, so it's true. Okay, that's how that. shit's done.
Actually, I seen it on TV, so it's
Yeah,
Oh,
was that
now-
seen
now
on
we're
TV?
talking.
so take your pick which one you want to determine is the fault.
So,
info.
hey,
We
if
find
you
that
want
shit
one of
on
those upside
Facebook next, then we definitely know it's factual.
I'll tell you what, Prophet, it's real easy. You want to do one of those upside down tomatoes? Take a fucking hanging basket plant, right? And then your drain hole, cut the drain hole out a little bit, and then plant your plant in there upside down, and then backfill the pot, then hang it back up, and then just water the soil on top. You can put some flowers or something in there if you want, but then that tomato will grow straight out the bottom of your hole, and then you have an upside down tomato.
Yeah, I think the tomato is the only upside down one. So I think it's like indoor. I don't know. I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna fucking post it. I'm gonna prove it's
Just look
real.
for a topsy. It's called a topsy turvy. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't care about the damn tomato. I'm looking for goddamn bananas. All right.
And there's,
I hope
I
you
don't-
never find it, just so that you can live in infamy as full of shit, which you kind of already do, but even more full of shit than normal.
Yeah.
No, actually, some of those things, like I said, they're a big giant like joke. I was looking at one. It was called like a tomato tree, and basically, it was supposed to make a more well-structured tomato plant that will grow like 8 foot fucking tall, that you don't have to support through a cage, and it would grow just like massive amounts of tomatoes. And it's just some GMO piece of shit that doesn't really grow right, but they sell it to people who will buy it because it looks cool. So that might be what you're looking at there, Prophet. Some kind of random bullshit that's not actually really going to work very well.
Well, you don't know until you try.
Exactly. Well, I told my sister that, and she goes, "Yeah, I tried it. So now I'm telling you, it doesn't work." I said, "Oh, okay."
Don't tell him that though,
There
Fluff.
goes my apocalypse plans.
Hey, no,
Out
I
the
figure
window.
if I fucking tell him, he's gonna be like, "Fuck him." I'm gonna show him.
I'm
He's
gonna
gonna try it
prove it,
anyway,
man.
like
You're
way
shit,
much
man.
harder. So
I will find it.
I actually kind of wanted to try to do one of those, like, the upside down topsy turvy type thing, grow a cannabis plant in it, see if it would grow down or if it's just gonna like try to fucking
Sometimes.
bruise up the side of the pot.
Yeah,
I think it would
I know a
bend, and
dude
then
that
you
did
get
But what if you
tropism
put the
would take
light
hold.
under?
that, and then it'll go down.
Right? Yeah. Put the fucking light under it and shoot it up at it.
That's
Grow
one
inside
thing
of
I've
it.
considered with when I had a bunch of 3 foot long T5 fluorescents. I thought about putting those in rows facing up on the underside of the canopy for a little bit of extra light from below. Never actually went and did it, but that's something that I've always thought. If you had a little bit more light, would, like, we've all heard a little bit about the DLI and stuff like that, and I think I've witnessed it in my plants a few times where it's like, okay, these guys got too much of something. Maybe it was too much dehydration that caused them to sag and droop a bit. Maybe it was too much light, but like if you were to give supplemental lighting from the bottom, is that going to have any real effect on your yield and product quality and all that?
There's quite a time I was looking into doing kind of similar to the same thing. I wanted to get like 4 foot T5, like single T5 bars, or like 2 core 85s from Rapid LED, and either just lay them across the bottom of my pots facing up, or with the like 4 foot T5s or something like that. I wanted to hang one on each post, just run one on each of my posts in my tent, and just have some side lighting. But really the only benefit you're going to get is you're trying to grow your lowers, so it'd be the shit you normally trim off or, you know, whatever. You're just trying to make that stuff, you know, more usable. That's all you're doing. And a lot of times I pack my tent so tight that it's not really, you know, gonna help to have that side light either. You know, I might grow an extra ounce off of fucking bottom nugs, and then everything in between the top and the bottom is just gonna look like larky shit. So that's kind of why I've never pursued doing it. But it's definitely a thought. I mean, I know of other people, you know, like that Canadian chronic gardener who has the total vertical garden. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can see what comes out of there, and you know, judge for yourself. So
Yeah, that's cool stuff. I always just figured at the end of the day, if I have lights facing upwards, I'm going to slop water and shit on them at some point in time, and they will fail. That's my biggest determining factor. Is it's just I'm going to end up wrecking shit. I'm not delicate enough to be trying to fancy foot myself away around shit like that. I'll just shit gets broken when I'm around. So you gotta be able to take it be so cool.
right, I was doing what was I was spraying the other day. You know, I'm trying to, you know, obviously you should get on the underside of your leaves, you know, and so I'm up towards the top of my canopy, and I don't. In that specific tent, I have an older HLG 320, which is not, you know, IP6 rated or anything like that. And I'm at the top of my canopy with my sprayer spraying directly up at my light, just sitting there thinking like, oh, that's a dumb fucking idea. So yeah, remember those things, people, when you're in your garden and working around. That's some of your shit you need to pay attention to. Don't break it. Lights are expensive. You don't want to ruin them.
Yeah, I've kind of had that thought too. For spraying back when I was playing with HPSs and stuff like that, doing a foliar feed, it's just like you see the mist getting up into the light. And I've never had one actually crack on me, but I was like, oh fuck, a few times or like that. This could get bad. I better like put the wand over this way more.
Yeah, especially when you're spraying the underneath of the leaves and you're not even paying attention, you're just shooting straight upward.
Yeah.
And you're like, you look up and you're like, oh yeah, that thing is like 300 fucking degrees. I should probably not do that. And then you make sure you kill your fans, obviously. But then I learned to, you know, bend the fucking the branch and shoot downward and try not to go back up that way, because I was like, maybe I got lucky and then fucking blow the bulb up. But yeah, I've been there.
So all right, we got a cool little question here in chat.
Oh shit.
Not much of us here, but let's see. Profit, you use raw nutrients, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what's prices like on that shit? Is that pretty affordable? Like, do you need to buy a shit ton of bottles to make it effective?
There are no bottles. It's all powder. It's a all right. So how can I explain this? All right, so it's if you try to get the smaller bags, they're gonna run you like $20, and those are like 2-ounce bags, I want to say. But if you go and you get the 8-ounce bags, that's only like $30. You know what I'm saying? And that's like 3-4 times as much for $10 more. You start getting a bigger pail, you only pay like 200 something, maybe 150, $200 for a fucking 10-pound bucket of this nutrient. And you can they have different ways, like they have a all-in-one veg and an all-in-one bloom. But I get real obsessive when it comes to this, so I gotta look and see exactly what nutrients are in the veg, and if there's any biostimulants added into this all-in-one, or is it just to maintain the NPK? There's some biostimulants like humic acid, kelp, stuff like that, but there's some in there that I want in there that are not amino acids, shit like that. So I'll buy that separate. This is the easier way for me to do this raw thing, from what I've, after the years of mixing each individual fucking bag like a mad scientist, all right? Which you can do, but the bigger bag you buy, I recommend at least the 8-ounce, the cheaper it is, because fucking you'll go through, even though it takes 1/16 to 1/8 per gallon, which doesn't seem like a lot, and like you'll be like, oh, the $20 bag will last me a while. It really, you go through it quicker than you think, and then you stop buying, then you buy another one. So anyway, I go through, and then I grab the bloom, on all in one bloom. And that's what I'm running off of now. But like I said, I looked through to figure out what extra biostimulants I wanted in there that the raw company has, because at certain stages of flower or veg, you want different biostimulants added to it at different ratios. So with that, in the short term, it's a pretty easy. There's an easy way
What
and a
would you,
hard way.
let me ask you a quick one, break it down real easy. What would you say you pay per cycle to run that nutrient? Do you have any idea?
God, not much at all. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
Let's see. So, an 8-ounce bag of, say, everything I needed. I mean, realistically, it's probably running me $100 a run, and with if everything was 8-ounce bag that I did, it'd
Okay.
probably run me 3 cycles of 3 plants each from veg to flower.
Yeah, I mean, so I've played around with just a few things really. I like to do the dry amendments and everything, but I have run, bottle wise or just a nutrient regime wise. I've done with like the Nectar of the Gods. I enjoyed. It was. I only did their 4-part bottle system. It was super easy. Things came out great. I wasn't wanting to drive and steer the plants too much. I just wanted, good quality grow, and it did that with flying colors. And I would say, I think I went through a quart, like basically the 4 bottles, like a quart of each throughout the whole cycle. And yeah, I think it was like $120 for the cycle. So, that was a good one. I know let's see other options. Painted Lady joined us just now. She runs those bloom and yellow bottles. I think they're pretty affordable. And it's one of those that you can kind of adjust through your lines and things.
Jack's is supposed to be real affordable too. That's another one that I believe is not even marketed towards cannabis. So that
Right.
your price point reasoning on that one. Just because something's not specifically marketed for cannabis doesn't mean you can't use that for that.
Right.
But like that's one thing we kind of talk all the time. Like, think outside the box a little bit. You can go to the grocery store and you're going to get your stuff that is specifically for what we're doing. But you go to the feed store where you got like worm castings will be cheaper. You'll find shit like mushroom compost for brewing up microbes. I know you're a huge on that one, Fluff. That's one of my favorite things to play with. Just start looking around a little bit.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play with like that gold leaf. Was that Bacon Bluegrass or Prohibition? I think he's going by now. He was one who was fucking with that gold leaf, and he enjoys it. Said it's great stuff. I've always been curious about these weird 1-parts that want to claim they can get a plant from start to finish. Right at the end, and I'm sure it can. But what's the quality going to be at the end? I want to see that. But that's one that I'm curious about is that gold leaf.
Yeah. One that I would actually like to try is New Millennium. You hear about them a lot the last probably year or two. I wouldn't mind trying them, but I've never seen them up in my area. And to be honest, I can't see myself making a big nutrient line switch over right now I'm trying to go organic with everything I'm doing. The hydroponic company I do use now, I'm familiar with, I'm happy with, and I can't see myself just kind of flushing all their shit that I do still have down the drain just to go to another similar style of company, even if it is probably going to be better, possibly. Who knows?
Yeah, it's good. We just had a question. I wanted to get some people talking about it. It looks like that's starting now, so I like that. But yeah, like you
want the expensive ones, man, and that's what I thought. Like the more expensive nutrient you buy, the better product you get. Like I've gone to mills and stuff like that. It was fairly pricey. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't bad, but I personally didn't see a major difference between saving a lot of money and using a different nutrient line, which was one I was looking for anyway. I was looking for something that told me that I can control. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm obsessed with knowing what's in my soil, which is why I run cocoa. And yeah, so when I found raw, the fact that it was broken down individually attracted me because I can learn more about everything. So that's basically what happened there. You know, I did advanced. I've done the hydroponics one, general hydroponics. I mean, you know, the price doesn't technically dictate the outcome, is what I've learned in this journey. You know.
Yeah, that is very much correct. Right. And I was thinking of other things too. When you use like these bottles, it doesn't mean that you can't throw a fucking dry amendment in there either to help like buffer your stuff. When I was using the Nectar of the Gods line, they have their own little dry amendment, called One Shot. And, I would load the soil with that as a little bit of buffer to get by. And that stuff is cheap. I think I paid like, and I'm not even going to try to pull the number out of my ass, but I know it was cheap enough. I wasn't worried about it. When I buy like a 5-pound bag of it and to just, toss them in there, amend it. It waters in, it's available. It was just really good shit. But I mean, I think that's the thing that other people maybe don't think about enough is, you throw some dry amendments in there too. Give the plants a little organic matter to fucking eat off of while you're fucking around, if and when possible. I know some of the cocoa growers who are growing in fucking sterile environments and, doing your 20% runoff from your flood and drain, that maybe not a great option for you guys. The ones in fucking blocks, it's not going to work. But if you're growing some soil, throw a little dry amendment in there and, let nature do a little work for you too.
I know some people just off the top of my head, they're kind of were used to be like auntie and uncle to me that were growing better growers than I was, and they used to every time they every batch or every run be fresh bags of soil and stuff like that, and they would throw blood meal in there, end it with that every time, and then their grow system was general hydroponics that they would use for their nutrients, but blood meal every time. They might have used worm. I can't remember if she said worm castings too, but I do definitely recall the blood meal because this is kind of in the early days when you're just kind of you're trying to learn everything like a sponge, right? So okay, yeah, you can kind of mix those two, because then you're starting to get into that's like synganics or whatever we'd call it, right? Where you're using sort of a hybrid of your salts and your organics.
Yeah. That's kind of, that's the reason I went towards organics is kind of, I was sick of buying all this shit constantly. You know what I mean? It's just, so I started making up batches of soil, 2 months early. I'd let them sit for a while. And then I decided I'm sick of fucking pulling all the pots out too. So I just upgraded the size of my pot. Now I just leave my soil in there, re-amend a little bit, let the worms do their work. Now I don't even move the damn soil, unless I have to. But I'm testing out, to now try to do some, 1 gallon, fully organic, water only type, in 1 gallon pots, which there's no way I'm going to water only in a 1 gallon pot. It's not going to happen. Not for a full cycle. There's not enough nutrient, never going to be. But, we can make these happen with the dry amendments and shit. And that's the one thing I like is I've had, you buy a box of 5-pound amendment, you use a little bit of it for your soil, you reuse your soil like that. Next thing you know, I mean, I think I spent $200 on nutrients 4 years ago, and I still have some of them sitting around. You know what I mean? They go that far. So that's another great reason to just, I like the organics. It's easy, it's cheaper. It's, there's always a way around, you just have to be a little more attentive when you grow your plants, because when you start seeing those deficiencies, you're already been deficient for a while.
Yep.
So it means you fucked up, and now you really got to, when you're fixing these problems, you're not going to fix it in a day. You're not going to see that happen tomorrow. It's not going to be fixed when you go that route. So a lot of people, they just keep throwing shit at it until they see it fixed. And then 2 weeks after that, or 3 weeks after that, all of a sudden their plant is way the fuck out of whack because, they thought they were fixing it by throwing shit at it, and it wasn't fixed until the day they saw it fixed. And that's no good. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with bottled organics either, man. Fucking bottled organics are great. It's just a matter of, so if you're doing that, yeah, throw some dry amendment in there and use less of those fucking bottles. You'll find out it takes those grows a lot easier.
Now, what I'm doing is, I think I gotta figure out is my proportions and ratios because I feel like I probably way over amend, which is probably what most people do when they first get into it. So I can not burn plants, make them comfortable and shit like that, but also just go through less product in the end too. If you don't have to feed it, fucking, you don't have to dump 5 of these full of amendments on top of your pot when you can only dump one. Why dump 5 if you can only dump one kind of shit, right? Type of thing. So that now I'm gonna, yeah, just I'm learning that process and having fun and just it's.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna.
you know what's gonna, sorry to cut you off. You know what's gonna happen in 6 months though from now is I'm gonna be back to fucking hydroponic nutrients because I'll have had some stupid change in my thinking, and then come springtime, I'll be back to organics because it's like that. But that's why I feel like if I need to have like a DWC bucket around or something like that, so that when I do kind of make the switch and I'm doing mostly organics and I do get that stupid itch to play around with hydroponics, it's like, okay, I can do a bucket. A bucket's easy. It doesn't take up much space. It's not fucking with what I'm already doing, and play that way.
Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna do that whole cracking thing. It's that I don't ever really want to do hydroponic. I don't like all the moving parts and stuff. Like if I have to start moving and have pumps and air pumps and clean out lines and shit like that, like
I'm just do an air stone in a bucket. That's all.
I don't even want to go that far. I want to do the cracking method where you just fucking throw the water and the nutrients in a bucket and just like the Jadon, man. I want to do it as lazy as fucking possible. I want that shit just sit there over in the corner, no mechanics, no fucking lines, nothing moving, just fucking grow over there.
See, I do DWC because I'm fucking lazy and I don't want to put a lot of effort into it. I just go about once a week and change that water up, maybe look midweek and top it up if it needs to be.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do with even less.
That's fucking hilarious.
I think you guys don't even want to grow. You'd rather just, hit a button and then come down in 2 months and find some weed.
Right? Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people who want to do. Yeah, they just want to fucking set that system, close the doors, come back when it's time to harvest.
That's
not me because I like looking at it all too much.
Yeah. Me too. Just sit there, look at it, smell it, hug it, fucking touch it, rub it, tell it how cute it is.
Rub it down. Oh no.
There you go.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I straight up got to piss like a racehorse. I'll be right back. This goddamn coffee.
Fuck, you're gonna sit here and leave me alone with Profit? It's not safe. It's not safe at all.
Okay. Before I go, here's a question now. Would you rather be left alone for 5 minutes with Profit or left alone for 5 minutes with Reach Around Rick?
Power top.
That's creepy. That's creepy shit right there.
I believe that's the correct terminology. So,
he always has the best pajama pants. I feel like we should just have a special little section for Caribou's pajama pants.
Switch it out.
You ever notice?
His work uniform in the mornings, like the shit that he wears to fucking get the pajamas, a weekday set up to the weekend.
You need one with a safety vest on, his helmet, and just really awesome pajama pants.
Have you actually caught him before he's going to work? Because you don't do that on the Tuesdays. Oh, man. Well, he looks just like when he gets home late, fucking wearing that vest. That's probably it right there, actually, that I'm looking at.
What's going on, chat? How y'all fucking doing?
How is chat doing?
They're doing good. Very.
They laid out so many different nutrient lines. Like I looked, I was like, all right.
Yeah. One of these days we'll have to get local grow guy here to talk to him. He's got some interesting shit to say, it seems. We can then we can see if we can get him to do more dumb shit at Walmart. That'd be fun.
Right.
Maybe get a tampon fucking sticking out of each nostril while he's got a tea bag hanging out of his mouth, and see if we can go get him to buy I don't know what, but think about something.
Would it be in poor taste if he had 2 tea bags and a zipper of his pants hanging out? Would that be?
What you got there?
Yeah, what you got there?
Terrible lighting. This is Panama Red right here. And if I had the ability to get it in real close, you'd see she is pregnant. Well, not pregnant anymore. She's fucking dead, but seeded right the fuck out. That is by a machine male. So Panama Red by the machine. See how that turns out to be. I thought Panama Red, like, so this is not from a reputable dealer. Let's just say that. I don't even know who these guys are. It was just some company. My mom was online looking for seeds, right? Came in a very just a plastic baggie with letters and numbers, but didn't, just some sort of coating. I thought it was a red hair thing was why it got its name, and there's not really any particularly red hairs.
What do
And
you do?
Well, wouldn't the
I-
Panama Red be one that wants to go for a real long time too? Wouldn't that be a 10, 12-week strain?
this
So
is
maybe-
it, and well, this is just the two top highest colas that I cut off because they're for the seeds purposes. These seeds are ready to go. Down below isn't. So I think we're gonna try and go another because this is like week 11-ish right now. And so yeah, give it another month and just see what happens because I would like to see it bulk up. But when I cut a whole bunch of clones off of this, thinking, oh, okay, I'll throw that first one in the tent because I had a breeding project gone to go at that time. So I was like, fuck, I'll throw a clone in there or throw the main plant in there and all my clones, I'll keep one of those and actually play around and run that a bunch of times. But then not one of those fucking clones sprouted on me. So I was like, well, fuck. That Panama Red for the time being is like one and done. But yeah, kind of interested in that one.
Yeah, it could be super cool. I've always liked the Panama Red was always pretty. I like that one.
I've never knowingly tried it, right? It's kind of like Colombian Gold or Maui Wowie or something like that, where you've heard the name, but I don't know that I've ever tried it, but would be interested in. But when my mom offered me some feminized seeds, I sure as fuck was not going to say no to them. As would anybody. No sane person would say no to free seeds, right? Yeah. So we'll see. Eventually, I'll run that one again because I've got 2 more fem seeds left and just check that out. I like the idea of getting into some of these older strains. We've talked about this a million times on the show. Is like there's absolute fire out there every time we turn around. There's new breeders. Like I said, I've got 4 packs of seeds coming from Ross to Jeff of this newer shit coming out right now. I'm excited as fuck to run it. I'll be popping that shit as soon as it walks in the door. But some of these older strains that we've heard about for years but never tried. What are they all about?
I got quite a few that were from the 60s, kept in a freezer, and then given to me by a hippie. Panama Red, Maui Wowie.
You've been telling us this for like a year and a half, but nobody's ever seen them.
Does anybody fucking want them that are actually gonna like do something and breed with them? Because I'm not gonna grow the motherfucker for 14 weeks anymore. I did that once. Fuck that. So they've been sitting in my drawer. Actually, they're right here next to me in my seed container, so I can show you right now. So
which one you got? Which one are you talking about? I wasn't paying attention because you were running your mouth, and I usually like check out when you start talking.
I've got Acapulco Gold, Panama Red,
Okay.
A potential Purple Haze strain, and then which is part of the and there's a Mystery Girl pack of rando land races from that era that I've had and obtained from someone that had them in its freezer fucking 20, 30 years, just doing whatever. They had popped for me when I tried them that one time. But because how long it took, I'm not going to fuck with them. Plus, they do tend to stretch, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going in the basement, maybe if I did it outdoors, but still, if they're actually the classic strains from back in the day, you know what I'm saying, then potentially I have the genetics from, it's not a dealer or anything like this, is before you can order anything. So these seeds are that old that they potentially might hold the actual original lineage potentially, or as close as you can get, at least going a couple of decades back anyway. So, I mean, I've talked to a few of you guys about shit. I'll fucking send them to you if you want to grow them out, try to breed them back in, or just to get them going. Like it just nobody's hit on it. Like I've tried.
I've got old ones like that, and when I have some time, I throw them motherfuckers out because I love that old shit. But also, Opie was just telling me he's thinking about doing some breeding with some Maui Wowie. I believe he got the Maui Wowie from Vader. I believe when Vader did his preservation run on some Maui Wowie, so like real good genetics. And then I think he was talking about crossing it with some sweet tea, which would be fucking pretty badass. So
I remember when Opie was talking about that too.
yeah, so that could be some real interesting things. We talked to him not too long ago about that. So that's another one that'd be neat. But yeah, I definitely but that's one that that'd be a good one to come up. And one of these days, yeah, I mean, if you ain't got nobody to run that shit, I will definitely run it, because I ended up giving all of my old seeds away. I'm hoping they still got squirreled away so that he can work with them later, but I don't know where they're at now. Now I kind of wish I had kept them, because man, I used to pop one out of that just every so often, and I just always loved what come out of it.
Yep.
You could always tell it was fucking old and different. It wasn't like anything around ever. Not always good, but always old and different.
Yeah, my dad, I don't know if he still has any of them, but my uncle Dalton, who is Dalton's Pond, that's where the name came from. He passed away about 15, 16 years ago. Holy shit, eh? Maybe he's only slightly full of shit.
I like he's keeping them in the pens. Some real old shit, cool shit there.
Yeah.
I got them, so I mean, if you ever want them, they've been sitting in my seed bank fucking since I started. So I grew them one time through. Fucking amazing, dude. 15 weeks on the Maui Wowie, but the colors on that motherfucker and the density of the bud and just everything.
I got nothing against a 15-week strain. Like I said, as long as I've got enough in the 8 to 10 week area, I have no problems running one or two, something that's going to last a little bit longer than that. Actually, I sorry if I've got a question about Adam's grapple further though. When did you cut that one? Because I cut mine at week 10, and I almost wonder if I should have cut it a week or two sooner, because it kind of stopped showing me new stuff about 2 weeks before. But at the same time, I still like to let stuff go. So I was kind of curious.
I honestly took it a little earlier than I normally take stuff, because everything in that tent was fucking screaming fast. So
Yep.
It was like 67 days I took that one down. And I think I could have fucking went a little longer on that one. I feel like it was still bulking a little bit. The colors were still, I guess the purple was really starting to set in, but yeah, it was 67. And I mean, I'm happy with it. I know I didn't find a keeper in it. It wasn't like something super special, but it was enough where I would give that to anybody and be like, check this shit out.
I'm getting low.
Yeah.
Scary low. That's that's one that I would say I agree. It's probably not a keeper, but it's one that I definitely want to run a few times to play with, because it's when you're just like, wow, that was a fun toy. You got to play with it a few more times to see. And I definitely want to breed that with, like, when I've crossed this with the machine already. This thing had like super rubber fuel smells to it, and I just think that with some more machine could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I've heard a couple different. So Adam got a hold of it so he could try it, because I like to make sure that you breed. If you let me grow your stuff, I'm gonna let you see what it tastes like. Yep. So he got to try it. I think Dave's not here. Got to try some, because I was really interested to see what he would taste out of it. Plus, I had to I grew out his T1000 along with that stuff, so sent him some of that. And some of the things that he can taste in it is not what I do. But the best thing I can do is like a skin, like a fruit skin with a little bit of pastry, like background and just some funk, and it's fairly decent hitter. Like you said, it likes to like ramp up a little bit of creepy, but good shit. Definitely good shit. Well worth the grow. And dude, if you were just growing for like a decent product that will give you a good fucking yield, I mean, that was a good one right there. You'd want to turn and burn some shit, that would be a great one.
Yeah, I feel like I did something wrong in the growing process because I didn't get a big yield out of it. But there's also I'm trying to like cough and stuff like that and hit the mute button a million times, but it wouldn't mute. I feel because also like my Hawaiian snow, which I grew at the same time, it just went for 2 weeks longer than that, and the sock souffle. None of them were overly big buds, and I feel like I fucked something up along the process, and whatever I did it to all three. Because whereas watching you had some big fucking nugs on there. Like I was still happy with my yield. I got a good yield off of it, but the nug size, I felt like I could have maybe done better.
Yeah, that thing, honestly, I wouldn't even say it fed real hard. It didn't. Then again, the thing was in a 50-ounce pot, so
yeah,
it had some room to do what it wanted to do, and more than enough nutrients sitting around to hang out. So, but yeah, I mean, I didn't do anything real special with that one to get that either. So that's what I was happy about. Though it does make me want to push it harder next time I run it, and I definitely do want to run that one and get a better pheno out of it, at some point. But it was enough that it's interesting enough to me to want to run it again. So that's always a benefit. I mean, it's not like the Black Forest where I could tell you all about how amazing that is and how that will pretty much probably always be in my garden just at some point. I know the next time I run that, I'm seeding the shit out of it. So I'm at least F2ing the fuck out of it myself.
That just listening to you get excited about it gets me excited about it for when we do this grow off of sorts. When we do, it's going to be a lot of fun because I think I got 6 of those beans. One of my main reasons for wanting to F2 the grapple fritters, I got 3 beans out of it. I think a male, 2 females, and I crossed one and got a few Saka Souffle that grapple by Saka Souffle seeds. And then decide, because I know this, I want to go back and play with this again at some point. Just that Chem Dog smell, it reminds me of that Chem Dog cut that I had from 5-6 years ago. It's just like, oh yeah. So, but I'm also real hot and horny to go burning through phenos. Like I said, I got a bunch of new Rasta Jeff coming up down the line here. Some for a couple of his afterglow crosses. So it'd be able to, just F2 those real quick, have those seeds in stock. And then when it's like, hey, let's go back to that fuel, because I'm thinking like, fuel with that afterglow could be just, like, fuck, so excited. So fucking excited. So excited that I can't even talk.
Yeah, man. That's the other. Actually, something I was thinking about a minute ago when you were talking about it was, running those long weekers, those land races, trying to get one in a tent. It kind of always confused me a little bit. People running a perpetual grow where they always just have that, 12-hour light cycle, and they're like, I'm not going to throw that thing. Well, it's you're never shutting that light off. It's always on 12. What's it matter if that thing's in the corner? Just one corner, just going to town. I always thought perpetuals were the best place to put, one of those long running strains, but everybody I talk to hates fucking running them. And
it's all about like when you come into a perpetual mind state, I guess. If like me personally, it's all about being able to take everything down at once, clean out the room, and
that's not a perpetual though.
Well, right. The perpetual is all I'm gonna get, instead of like putting I've thought about putting one 2 weeks in, another one 2 weeks in, another one 2 weeks in.
Right.
And it's easier for me just to dedicate everything just to be able to take down kind of in one shot.
Well,
as
and
much
that's
as
the way I
can.
like to do. I mean, right,
And
my
then
garden
clean
never
everything.
technically shuts down, but once I've harvested, I take everything out. It gets a
Yep.
good fucking cleaning, and then it'll get all replanted. Once I've cleaned everything up. But yeah, I've never been one who will just recycle a plant every 2 weeks. I've never. I like to shut down and clean. So someone like I said, someone like me, I don't mind running one of them big motherfuckers in the back. It's just, to me, it's kind of a waste of time because I'm going to have every other plant in that thing cut out, and it's going to be that 650 watts running that one plant for another 3 weeks after everything else is out of there. Whereas if I was running a perpetual, it wouldn't make a difference because the light's already going to be on. New plants are going to be getting cycled in and out, and so.
Well, and another thing is I kind of got a second area in the house, basically our furnace room where I can store plants. And so what I've been doing lately is I got like my veg tent in the bedroom, that little 20 by 36 there. I kind of start shit off and get it going on there. Get it to a certain point, flip it, and then I'll stick it in the furnace room because there's no carbon filter in there, right? So if for the first few weeks before it starts stinking, I can let it do its thing in there till week 4, maybe 5-ish if I'm lucky. And then from there, it can go upstairs because I'll, in that at about week 4 or 5, when those are kind of ready to start to stink, I'll have recently cut something in the tent upstairs. So then I can move the fucking plants that are just starting to stink upstairs where there is the fucking carbon filter, and just fucking continually fucking cycling through that. Because our biggest thing is having, well, like Ash and I, we go through a fucking ridiculous amount of weed and we're still paying for it because we fucking go through more than we can produce. So our perpetual, instead of doing the 1 or 2 plants at a time, which we've kind of gotten into that and we're still pretty good at that, we need to be able to do about 4 to 5 plants at a time, I think, so that we have enough of that fucking biomass so that it can fucking dry and cure long enough to have a proper cure on it. Because it does get to the point where you start smoking it before it's cured properly, and it does the trick, but it's not as good. And we want to be enjoying what we're doing, right? And so having, now that I've got that extra area where I can start off, if I'm harvesting about 4 to 5 plants at a time, which is kind of my goal, then I've always got 4 or 5 plants that are just got cut, 4 or 5 that are about a month from being cut, 4 or 5 that are just getting thrown into bloom, and just boom, 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 just keep fucking cycling those through. Hopefully, everybody's
Yeah, I hope to start that. Like I said, I'm trying to do a little turning and burning so I can find a little more things to, keep my big tents running and producing, so I know I have what I want. We're getting a lot closer to that. Being blessed with so many new genetics from people has kind of screwed my whole shit up. I had a system with my 4 fucking strains I had, and now it's all, out the window. And my biggest problem always ends up being, tracking shit. I'm going to want to run a perpetual grow, do those, those plants. But I am really bad about like marking down when they got in that tent, and I've always been hey, just check the trikes. You'll know when it needs to come out. Well, when you got 15 plants in there that are put in there in 15 different times, I can check the trikes, but I'd sure like to know which ones I don't have to check.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. It can be a bit of a
Yeah, that's what it all boils down to. When it comes down time to just getting everything running in a great time, I am not a good planner. I don't plan things well at all. I fucking fly by the seat of my pants a lot and just fucking go for it. So
I used to be very methodical and deliberate with my note taking and all that, and like there was not a step I did not track. And then for some reason I got away from that, and I keep trying to get back to it, and I'm getting better. But like say I just flipped a bunch of machine plants, and then one of our mystery whatever the fuck is that kind of plants on Friday. And I still remember now what day I flipped them because it was 2 days ago, but I haven't written it down on my calendar where I write that shit, or on the pot where I'll take masking tape and put the strain on the pot so I know what it is for identification. And then usually I'll friggin' write the date that it got flipped on there too. So I haven't done that. And so by the time I get back into town at the end of the week, is that's the other thing is I'm gonna take a few hours. I'm going on a fucking all day long road trip to Bella Coola, which yay, sitting in a fucking truck. But yeah, so I'm gonna be gone all week, so I'll definitely forget about that and not mark that shit down. And
Yeah, that was, that was also another thing. I was, for a while I was growing without ever being anywhere near my grow. I'd have to set everything up so that I could water that bitch, tell my son that he needs the water once a week, and then I'd come back and see my month again or my grow again in like a month or so. So the thing had to be pretty well self-sustaining, or at least with minimal effort on my part. So you really never really could set up a perpetual that way, because I just wasn't there to take care of it. There's no way. So that's also another reason, my grow is kind of set up in its awkward way, is because I was never there to fucking work on it. And without being an automation guy, I never was one that just set up a fucking, I probably could have set up a reservoir a week, set up a flood drain or something, and probably would have been a lot easier on my mind, but I like this route better. So,
well, to be
and,
honest, man, sip containers of sorts. What's more automated than that, really, man? Just fucking
right.
water, walk away. Come back within. You after a while, you get to learn how long it takes to drain it. Right when it gets later on in bloom, I find with my green one that I ran with that Grape Diamonds, after about week 7, that was when it was definitely going to be empty at the end of every week, because it was starting to uptake faster.
Right. Yeah, and I've never been one who likes to water super heavy either. I'm always trying to kind of work with humidity. I don't ever want to fuck with PM, especially indoors. You know what I mean? Trying to keep the humidity down a little bit so I don't water super heavy, things like that. So I was always tracking water real close. How much I'm using, how long it takes for the plants to uptake it, because when I'm there to look at it, I want my plants to uptake all that water throughout that day. So I want to see how much I can give them, so that they will be happy the whole entire day. And I can come in tomorrow and give them fresh and, re-exchange that oxygen in the soil by putting it in, things like that. So, I could water a 15-gallon pot with 1 gallon of water every day. You know what I mean? Or something like that, nice and easy. Or I can throw 8 gallons on it and walk away for a fucking, week and a half. But I like to kind of water it a little less, like I said, it gets that oxygen and exchange inside the soil. And then you're there to see the fucking plants, work with them, eyeball them. It just gets me in there more often. So.
And you work with soil, so yours stays a little wetter than me because I run cocoa. So my 15 gallons when I water, I'm putting about 2.5, 3 gallons in there per pot, and I'm lasting about 3-4 days in between watering, which is fine for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do something like water out through the week, right? Sunday, it'll get just a heavy fucking water, nice and saturated, just real happy. And then, Monday, I'll check it. If that top layer looks a little bit dry, I'll get it like a half gallon, just to kind of give it a little something fresh. And then, the day after that, it'll be a little bit drier, so it'll get a gallon. And then it'll get a gallon every day for the rest of the week. And then Sunday, it'll get a nice, heavy, 5 fucking gallon wash in there and happy again. So it seems to be working out for me. And I like to do it. Like I said, that's how it takes for me, to sit there, look at the plants, touch them, talk to them, help them, study them, see what they're doing, pay attention to them.
Well, I turn my lights on and off manually. So once my lights go on, I'm usually in there for a half hour, 45 minutes, check shit out. And I usually check shit out before I go to bed, or before they go to bed. Read them bedtime story and then pull the plug and then walk out. Which is why I like not having a timer, because it gets me into that room. Because like I said, I could water the fucking thing it'll be fine for 3 days. I know it will be, but it still gets me in there, you know, and at least around the energy of the planets that I try to do and whatever.
Jesus Christ, I can't fucking spell or type. Oh well.
That's all right. Nobody ever accused welders of being smart, Fluff.
Ain't
Yeah.
that the fucking truth?
Don't you
Man, I saw the
don't
best
you hope and
fucking.
poke? That's all you welders do. You blind yourselves and just kind of poke,
Yeah, and just fucking.
kind of hope
I-
and poke.
You know, it's funny. Years of being a welder, and I think it was Lobster actually said a fucking welder thing that I've never heard before in my life. That was the bigger the glob, the better the job. Never heard that one. And it's so fucking appropriate, especially for the assholes I've been seeing lately. There's some people should just never have a fucking welder. They just shouldn't. Shit should be taken away from them.
My welder was taken away from me in the divorce, Fluff. Like, come on
You
now.
took that? What the fuck? The driller can understand. She can take pictures, but damn. So
She
Fluff,
can't
you
even.
saying-
She couldn't even lift the welder to move it if she tried. It was just a little link 180, like nothing special.
So should I not buy a big welder? Is that what you're telling me? Fluff, you don't think I
I
should have
mean,
a big welder?
Hey, you do you, but when you take it to a fucking place to get your shit fixed, when they make fun of you, don't get all butthurt about it.
Oh, I won't get my hurt.
Well, some people think they are welders, and then when you let them know that they are not, they get really upset about it.
I wouldn't be mad. It's okay. I'm just trying to put ram bars on my truck. I'm sorry, SUV. I want people to get the fuck out of my way that are doing like 50 on the goddamn highway in the high speed.
Yep, I hear that. All right, guys. I've got to start getting on with the day here. I'm about 3 hours or less from that fucking all-day trip I was talking about. But the one good thing once we get down there, Bella Coola, that valley is an absolutely beautiful place. Anybody that's into traveling BC, I would recommend it to anyone. My line of work sucks down there because you got to remove all that vegetation, and that vegetation grows so damn fast and well down there. But I'm going to try and get a bunch of pictures and videos and post up on Instagram. Now, here's actually another funny story before we come. Not really all that funny, but it's kind of funny to me. My buddies that I went waterfall hunting with a few weeks back, they're going to Hunland Falls, which is out in the Bella Coola area. And it's like a 9 hours. It's 15 miles, not kilometers, 15 miles walk each way to get in and out of this waterfall. They had this big trip planned for this weekend, and they're kind of getting there just as I'm fucking leaving this coming weekend, which I think is funny. Everyone else is like, that's a stupid fucking story. Why'd you tell us? We don't care. But hey, I'm the one with the control button. I get to talk every once in a while and say stupid
That's
shit.
right. My name's on this motherfucker. I can say what I want.
Well, that's another one though. Like, had I known that like the name of the channel was going to become my nickname or whatever, I would have chosen something way cooler, like Vagina Stretcher TV, so that could be my name. Say, hey, Vagina Stretcher, get over here. Like, yeah, that's me.
But see, the thing is, you think that's cool, and that's wrong.
That's where it all goes crumbling down.
That's where it all fucking takes. That's where the high speed come apart starts.
Yeah, I mean the stupid shit that goes through my mind. Y'all got anything you want to say before we split?
No, I mean, thanks for fucking hanging out. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Hope you all have a great rest of the weekend and all that good shit.
Fuck yeah.
Can I get a quick? Do we have a show Monday or is it Tuesdays?
Yeah, you do shows on Tuesdays when you show up sometimes.
Well, I'm trying to start showing up. Shit, 2 days in a row, shows in a row.
I know, we're impressed.
All right.
When I saw you show up in the waiting room, I was like, really? Seriously? 2 in a row? I'm impressed.
I woke up a little late. That's why I was a little late into the waiting room. My bad. But
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, we got so there is a show Monday. It's another one of the pre-recorded Monday morning shows I did. I put that together last night or yesterday over the course of the day. Tuesday morning is Paula and crew, Profit, if you're going to be there, which is be awesome. Like, don't get me wrong. We want you there. Just, we know you've had life and had to step away for a bit. So we're happy as shit to have you back, brother. Paul's going to make some pain medication bars of sorts, like a rub bar is what I understand. And like mind blown kind of shit. I was expecting it to be like some kind of pasta sauce or something badass like that we could eat. And she's stepping out aside of that and bringing us a new way to medicate. And so shout out to Paula for that. That's going to be a great time. Tuesday night, we've got Schwooby Doo and Cause I Love It, the boys from the Grover Show coming out and hanging out with us. That's going to be a hell of a time too.
Yeah. Lots of good guests coming up here soon. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Fuck yeah, great time. And then think about that, the week after that, we got Raptor Grows coming in to do that tissue culture. And shout out to Prohibition for helping prepare a bit of Q&A for Raptors on that, because I'm really stupid and I don't think as smart people talk very well. But if y'all were here Friday night and you got to hear Prohibition talk, he's smart as fuck and has a lot of good shit to say. So he's good with that stuff.
Good old Prohibition.
Okay, all right, guys. We're out of here. Everyone in the live chat, thank you for showing up time and again. We love y'all. You're what makes it worth it, really, man. We have a lot of fun hanging out with y'all. Everybody, great rest of your weekend. See you in the morning. Oh, and I hit the wrong button. Brought up my YouTube. Instead of hitting the end button, it's like YouTube crops up. Oh, okay. This time for real. See y'all in the morning.
No, we're not going anywhere. Fuck it.
No.
Staying here the rest of the day.
Okay.
Stay fucking